Here's something most people heading out today haven't clocked. It isn't just the warmth that could catch you out on Wednesday the 29th of July 2026, it's what you're packing to travel with. Consumer safety checks have just pulled a batch of travel adapters from sale to UK shoppers after they were found to be, in the words of investigators, highly dangerous, capable of overheating or exposing live parts when plugged in abroad. Combine that with a warm, humid, high UV day across much of England and Wales, road closures flagged by national highways, and two major events pulling huge crowds toward Wembley and Doncaster, and you've got a Wednesday where the weather is only half the story. In the next few minutes we'll walk through exactly what's happening with the weather today, why it matters for your journey, and the practical travel checks you should make before you leave the house. Wednesday brings a classic late July pattern to the UK, warm, close air pushing up from the south, humidity building through the afternoon, and a real difference between the southeast, where conditions feel muggiest, and the north and west, where it stays noticeably fresher and breezier off the Atlantic. Cloud cover is patchy rather than solid, which means UV exposure climbs quickly whenever the sun does break through, even on days that don't feel classically scorching. This is the kind of day people underestimate, because without a cloudless blue sky, sunburn and heat fatigue creep up on you. Anyone spending hours outdoors today, whether at a football ground, a stadium concert queue, or simply commuting on foot, should treat UV and humidity as the headline risk rather than raw temperature alone. The shift into this warmer, muggier pattern follows a run of unsettled weather earlier in the month, with high pressure now building enough to trap warm air over the UK without fully clearing the skies, which is exactly why humidity rather than blazing sunshine is today's defining feature. On the travel side, the picture has changed fast too. Airlines flying to Dubai and wider Middle East destinations have extended route suspensions this week, even after the United States paused its strikes on Iran, because carriers are still routing around affected airspace as a precaution. That's a direct hangover from geopolitical tension rippling into everyday UK holiday plans. Separately, National Highways published an updated road closure report just days ago, on the 22nd of July, flagging maintenance and incident-related closures that are still affecting journey planning heading into this week. For anyone driving today, the National Highways closures mean it's worth checking your specific route before setting off rather than assuming your usual road is clear, particularly on longer trunk road journeys where a single closure can add well over an hour. For flyers, the extended Middle East route suspensions mean some passengers booked via Dubai or connecting Gulf hubs are facing rerouting, delays, or rebooking onto longer paths around the affected airspace, so it's worth checking your airline status page before heading to the airport rather than at the gate. And for the thousands of holidaymakers packing today for a trip abroad, the adapter recall matters immediately. If you bought a cheap universal travel adapter recently from an unfamiliar seller, it is worth checking it against the safety notice before it goes anywhere near a foreign socket. Two events are pulling serious numbers of travelers today and this week. Bruno Mars is playing Wembley Stadium as part of his 2026 run, and with last-minute tickets still moving, transport advice matters. Stage times mean the surrounding tube and rail network around Wembley Park and Wembley Central will be heavily loaded from mid-afternoon, so arriving early and allowing extra time for the walk from the station is sensible on a warm, humid evening. Meanwhile, up in South Yorkshire, Wolverhampton Wanderers travel to Doncaster for a pre-season fixture, with the club's own matchday guide out this week covering routes and kick-off details for travelling fans. Both crowds face the same underlying weather conditions, humid, warm, UV exposed, so hydration and sun protection matter just as much for a stadium queue as for a beach day. On a humid, UV-active day like this, the practical advice is simple but easy to ignore. Sunscreen still matters under hazy or patchy cloud, because UV rays pass through thin cloud far more than people expect. Carry water if you're queuing outdoors for hours, whether that's a concert, a match, or a long airport wait, since humidity makes heat exhaustion set in faster than dry heat of the same temperature. If you're driving through today's road closures, factor in extra time rather than rushing, since frustration and heat are a poor combination behind the wheel. And if you're flying via a Middle East hub this week, keep your phone charged and check your airline's app regularly, because route suspensions are being updated day by day rather than settled for the whole summer. Looking just ahead, the warm, humid pattern affecting the UK today is expected to persist into the coming days rather than break dramatically, meaning UV and heat health guidance will likely stay relevant through the rest of the week rather than being a one-day spike. On the travel front, airlines are treating the Middle East route suspensions as a rolling, day-by-day decision tied to the wider regional situation, so further extensions are plausible if the pause in strikes doesn't hold. National highways closures will also continue to shift as maintenance schedules move through the summer program, so this is not a one-off disruption but an ongoing feature of UK travel this week. The safest approach for viewers is to treat today's conditions as a preview of the pattern for the next few days, not an isolated event. So here's the one thing to remember from today: the headline risk on Wednesday the 29th of July isn't a dramatic storm or a record-breaking heatwave, it's the combination of humidity, hidden UV exposure, and a genuinely busy travel picture, from Middle East flight disruption to road closures to two major crowd events. Check your specific route before you drive, check your airline's live status if you're flying via the Gulf, check any recently bought travel adapter against the safety recall before it goes near a socket abroad, and treat sun protection as essential even under hazy skies. Get those basics right and today's weather becomes a minor inconvenience rather than a ruined journey. That's your UK weather and travel picture for today, and we'll be back tomorrow with the next update, so subscribe if you want it delivered straight to you every morning.